Some FABMs seem to be quite effective for some people.
Know that the field of sexual and reproductive health and rights has had that critique of these kinds of fertility awareness methods, that they don't work. So when it comes to pregnancy prevention, what do we know, in fact, about their failure rates?
Great question. And I would start by saying, whether a given FABM is effective depends in part on the specific method and how it's used. There are dozens of fertility awareness-based methods. Most of them have, or I would say about maybe 14, 15 have been tested in clinical trials, but there are many more that haven't.
Mm.
So we've really tried to clarify the evidence base on this front because it has been widely misunderstood and I think misused in many instances. So in 2018, we published a systematic review, and it's actually one that we're updating right now. So hopefully we'll have even newer evidence to share on this. But for that paper in 2018, we looked at all of the available evidence on how effective different FABMs are when they were studied in a prospective or kind of longitudinal study. And what we found is that both the quality of the evidence and the effectiveness varies from FABM to FABM. So some methods like Sensiplan, which is a symptothermal type of method, or the Marquette monitor, which uses urinary hormone monitoring, had moderate quality studies. So that's better than low quality, but not quite what we would consider the highest quality. And those studies for those two methods suggested pretty high effectiveness. Their typical use pregnancy rates were between 2 and 7 pregnancies per 100 users in the first year. And that's in the same ballpark as typical use of oral contraceptive pills or patches or rings. For most other FABMs, typical use effectiveness, again, in a small number of moderate quality studies was lower. So we're talking about 10 to 34 pregnancies per 100 people per year. And that's more in line with methods like condoms, sponges, or diaphragms. Those numbers probably reflect best case scenarios. Real world effectiveness could potentially be lower. And since our understanding is really based at this time, given the gaps in research on these methods, which we'll talk about, since our understanding is based on a small number of moderate quality studies for each different FABM, if more and better studies come out, that could change what we know about FABM effectiveness. So there's some uncertainty interpreting what the data mean, but we think there's, that the short answer is really based on the best currently available data. The short answer is yes, some FABMs seem to be quite effective for some people.